Just out of the shelter, Milo stands in front of the gate and catches an unfamiliar whiff of air. He wonders, what is that smell? Or is it just the after effects of being too long in an environment like garbage wastes? Maybe the rotting and awful smells affected him somehow. Whatever it is, it can only be better than the stinking trash heaps and the strange rotten things in the caves. With the gate open, Milo continues and immediately finds another shelter. But better yet, he finds a delicious karma flower, and this time he is sure to treat himself. In his excitement, he accidentally throws his spear away, looks at the fallen flower, but then grabs it and delightfully eats it. More narrow pipes and murky water. Did we really leave the wastes? You find so many bubble fruits, but sometimes you underestimate your own power and throw them a bit too hard and they do not land in the water. You take some and jump in with them. And look, even more. But they are far enough, so you throw them again, so they are popped once you get there. Now that you are no longer hungry, you dive down and jump up the walls and run along. Following this big hallway-like pipe, you end up at a tunnel. You exit the tunnel, and immediately you smell very strongly what you smelled before. What is this great pond? The water is not murky, but still rather dark. How is that possible? Above you something wiggles around, and you don't know what this tentacle thing is. Is it as dangerous as the lizards? It comes towards you, so you flee into the open water, and then you see it. It was a lizard that caught something in its mouth and dove down. Luckily it wasn't you that got taken. You continue to swim and look around. Out here in the open is dangerous. Vultures saw you and tried to get you. You dive down into the water and try to lose them, but they are too. Suddenly you feel a pressure in the water from underneath, and something really gigantic grabs the vultures and drags it down into the depths. You understand, there's always something bigger, as this huge leviathan slowly moves back into the depths of this water. For a moment, you are unsure how to proceed. You don't really want to swim in an area with this under you. But climbing up could attract more vultures, but you notice a tunnel and move towards that. You find a spear and once again you glance down into this water. And as you are clumsy, you fall into the water again. You try to swim up in panic, but you do not hit the entrance. So you hold on for a moment and catch your breath. Calm down and try again, after which you successfully climb up. Taking the tunnel down, you see even here some fruits can grow, but you don't need them right now. You look down and see something shimmer, so you think a drop wouldn't be fatal. As you tried your jump, you fall into water. And to your right, you find a way up again. Just to be sure, you check it. Yes, no problem here. So back down. The tunnel to the right, and you continue, only to find one of those tentacle thingies from the beginning of this area. You continue further, but from now and then you look back, if it is following you. But no. Swimming here, you reach a shelter, which is good. Time for rain was soon to be. You go out and swim right again. You spot leeches and hurry to the other side to grab on something. Just when you thought you were safe, one of them jumps out of the water and grabs you, which causes you to fall into the water. You did not expect that. Those leeches are different than the red ones. It is exhausting. But you manage to climb higher this time, so you are safe again. You make your way upwards. You are at the surface again, and huge waves of water everywhere, strange looking protrusions, and a very dense fog make this area very uncanny and eerie. No choice but to jump into the water and swim to the next bigger thing to hold on to. Another quick dive to get up, but it seems it is closed off underwater. So you use the big waves to your advantage and get more height out of them when you jump up to a strut. You then also test out if you should swim on, but you decide otherwise. In the next tunnel you go, before the vultures might spot you. You find some blue fruits. And this time you take one. You let yourself down slowly and controlled. Two options are open now, left or right. The yellow observer tells you to go right, but you hang there and contemplate. In the end, you decide to follow its advice. Here you find more blue fruit to eat. It seems 2 clicking snails live here as well. Left side up the tunnel you go. But then at the exit, you start planning your way inside your mind's eye again. And decide to go another way. The yellow observer shows you another symbol to follow. It seems to be something akin to a face, but you are not sure what it means. Going right side up, you find another big choice of ways to follow, but also another shelter. Hesitantly you go towards the right side. And grab some bubble fruit. Dip it into the water. And eat up. Now you are full. But you still take one with you into the shelter. While you sleep, you remember your interactions with the observer. It is a curious creature, but it was never hostile towards you, and usually even helped find you the right way. Your only constant companion. When the shutters open and you wake up, you find that your idea with taking the bubble fruit with you was a good one, as you still have it, and breakfast is ready without issue. Leaving the shelter, you grab the other bubble fruit and soak it in the water that has gathered there. It is a bit slippery and grabbing it poses a small challenge, but you get it and eat it quickly. In your mind's eye, you prepare for your journey again and think about what kind of path to take to find the best route. You are very hesitant and watch for any sign that might help you decide. But this time not even the observer is to be seen anywhere. Since you are standing in the middle already, you think, why not just take this path then? Through the tunnel, and who do you find? Of course, the observer is there. It seems it wants to guide you based on the path you choose to walk, or in this case climb. You hop from wall to wall and reach a pole to climb up easier with. Immediately you have to hold your breath, because you are very deep in the water and you try to swim up as fast as you can. You manage to get into a tube, catch your breath, but you slide down and fall into the water again. After which you take your tube way up again, but secure your position to catch your breath again. You hop up and take the next tunnel to the right. You are curious about those bridge-like structures, but for now this way is easy to follow and you see a lot of danger lurking down in the water. When it is somewhat safe, you hop down and find the spear. Swimming on to the right, you notice some leeches in an area where they seem to be somewhat closed off, but they are waiting for their chance. The moment you leap over them, a vision opens behind you, where two vultures are grabbing a slugcat that was exhausted from the leeches. A cruel fate to have. Through the pipe, quickly into the next tunnel. Out of the tunnel, you see some strange behaving plants. It seems to be kelp. Suddenly, a vision strikes, and you see how monstrous this kelp is. It pulls a Slugcat down into its demise. You need to be wary not to come into its range. You climb up and snack on a fruit. Distracted, you loosen your grip and fall down. Not directly into the water, but you slip on the wet stone and fall near the plants. By chance, you found your way quick enough into a pipe and went back up again. This was very close. Coming out of the pipe, you see a vision of a Slugcat that also fell into the water, but did not manage to reach the pipe in time. The monster kelp got to it. You climb up. You are also well fed. You do not need to do risky maneuvers to reach the other fruits. The observer tries to show you something, but you still go your chosen way. And here you find another gate and the shelter. But you have a feeling that you shouldn't progress to the next area just yet. For now, you hibernate. You wake up and do not enter the gate, but go back instead. There you have all the leftover fruit from last time. And you can eat without worry as long as you have a steady grip. You let yourself fall to the left side, where it is safe. You were in such a hurry, you forgot to eat up. Following the upper strut, you come to another bridge part. Another vision shows you how awful it might be to drown here because of leeches. You are careful to hit your landing on the platform with the tunnel. Going down, you chose the right way again. A wet Slugcat can slip a lot, like last time you noticed, while trying to get out of the water. But you managed to get up and go further. Short dive. Pause, catch breath again, and continue your dive. You hop over into a bigger pool, and the water level is not quite high enough to get to the ledge. It takes you a few tries, but then you just use the higher wave and you get up. Those bigger pipes look very much the same, but they are slightly different nonetheless. You hop up and into the tunnel. Exiting, you see two visions simultaneously. From above the vultures and from below some other creatures and leeches. Simultaneous visions is a first for you and you need a moment to reorient yourself. You continue to swim to the right. As you reach a little island of sorts, you climb up a small pole hanging down and another vision shows you that vultures, when successful executed, can drop and grab a Slugcat in an instant. You focus and continue swimming. Remembering what lurks in this open water is frightening you. You keep swimming. When suddenly a vision shows you something that happened below these waves. A slugcat went diving too deep, and this time the Leviathan had nothing bigger that was distracting it, as it did with the vulture. It only took one bite. Beneath you, something terrifying and huge moves, and you know exactly what it is. You swim on, with all the strength your little arms can muster. When you reach the end, the wall is slightly too high to climb, so you dive to generate some momentum from the water, but it did not help. Trying to catch the bigger wave, you very narrowly succeed to get up. The Leviathan will have to find another snack, Milo thinks triumphantly. You climb up to get to the fruits, but fall because you slipped on some wet moss up there. You climb up again and think about the worth, or if it would be necessary. You have decided, and jump over some jellyfish, since you do not know if they might be dangerous to be near. Better not test it out. So up the poles and getting over them. They seem dormant when you fall into the water near them multiple times. This structure seems to be very dense, and you don't want to risk being too long in the water since you do not know what might be lurking in here. But the Leviathan shouldn't be a problem here, since it would be too cramped for such a huge creature. You find a shelter, and just to be sure, you go in and hibernate. You dream of how your ancestors are watching your bravery, and with this the first part in the area around the shoreline is finished. Find out what will happen in the next episode.